In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. They are rare and they are few who can compare with Ronnie Q. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q. It's time for Ronnie Q. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when it's time for Ronnie Q. I listen to my Ronnie, Ronnie. I listen to my Ronnie. It's time for Ronnie Q. Take a seat and go meet Ronnie. Sweet, 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 sweet Ronnie. No day complete without my Ronnie. She can't be beat. Sweet, sweet Ronnie.
Grand Rising. What's good? What's good, everyone? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. George Orwell. Okay, I see Red Wing Hockey. Good morning, Foot Soldier. I hope you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day. Okay, let me, and I hope you guys hit the like button. Okay, let me address a couple of little things real quick. Okay. Anytime that Ciroc is in your screen name, it's obvious you don't care about yourself. So anytime that 2 years after I take a mod stick from someone who is in my chat, blocking people from my chat, anytime that you are in my chat, blocking people from my chat, and one of my other mods who loves you so much is the one who alerted me to it. And when I come to you and I say, have you been blocking James from my chat? And you say yes. And I tell you not to block James from my chat. And then as soon as James come back in my chat, you block him again. And I see that you've done it, and I've taken your mod stick. I don't understand what the problem is. All of this, I lied on you. I did this. I did that. Bitch, I never see anything that you write about me, because once you have been told by me, just don't block people who you have an issue with, and you say, okay, like you understand, and the very next day you do the same thing. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think we were going to have another discussion about what happened? And then you're going to run around. I can't understand why this person, this Gummy Bama or Sassy Medicaid, whichever troll page she decides to get on, I don't understand. Why 2 years later you're calling into King Roman's news talking about the 20 people I have in my chat because I turned on everybody? When did I turn on anybody? I turned on everybody and blocked all of my supporters. All of my. I think you were the one who were blocking my subscriber, and I wouldn't stand for it. So now you're all over on King Roman's news, and it is so obvious it's you because you're the only one who always got Ronnie Q's name in your mouth because you so butthurt. I got 20 people over in my chat. Well, bitch, make it 19 because obviously you are one of the people who are always in my chat, bitch. Make it 19, ho. And I'm over here talking my politics and this. I talk what I want. What are you talking on your channel? I talk about what I want. I talk about what's important to me and how I live my life. And I understand that people can't accept that, or when they decide to engage in politics, they'll go to someone like Jay Wilson and talk wax poetically about something that he touched on surface level. I understand all that. Shit, you don't think I grew up knowing how my aunt had a saying, don't come to me with all that niggaism shit. Do not come to me. You don't know that I don't recognize niggaism. You don't think I don't recognize motherfuckers? Oh, I missed your chat. Oh, I missed your chat. I had this, that, and the other, and you sitting up in another motherfucker's chat when you're supposed to be minding my chat. You think I don't see that shit? You think I don't see that shit? Y'all think I'm crazy? When y'all sitting up here, the best that you can have content about is some shit that don't even affect you and how you live your life, and you have no idea about what is affecting your life. That's on you. That is definitely not on me. I appreciate the people who appreciate me, and those who don't, I don't either. Let's make it real clear. Hey, Dr. Sophie. Hey, Bernice. Grand Rising. And let's make another thing real clear since we clearing things up. I was catching a replay of, who was it? YouTube cameras. I was catching a replay of YouTube cameras. And who comes up on YouTube's camera channel trying to warn everybody about what's going on in this world? But I'm not going to tell you. I get like minds together and we talk about it behind the scenes and see like minds say, well, are you warning everybody, or are you trying to make yourself seem like you are alert to situations that you're not alerting other people about that could be important to their lives? Or are you trying to do the same thing that you always do, talent? Try to act like you know so much above the other average motherfucker. But here's the problem, bitch. Don't use Ronnie Q's name to try to agree with any of this bullshit you said. You don't say nothing that is imperative. You don't say nothing to enrich any lives over here. All of this running through the streets with your hair on fire the day before the election was laughable. It was retarded. It was totally dumb. You guys better vote. But all before it was time to vote, you were on mute talking about dumb shit. Some people can't register to vote the same day. Some people weren't registered to vote. Some people needed to know that they needed to register prior to election day. What were you doing? Lying about me having a stroke. You think, and you're on YouTube cameras channel talking about, go tell Ronnie Q to release the tape. Ronnie Q don't have no tapes that are unreleased, bitch. And you think I would bother to try to say that you did something that you absolutely never did, bitch? You ain't never tried to put any type of knowledge. You a nigga, you one of them same niggas who get shit and don't want nobody to know where you got it from. So you can be the only nigga who have it. See, that ain't Ronnie Q. Ronnie Q don't do that shit. That's some niggaism shit. I know you grew up in the slums of Chicago, motherfucker. That's some slum shit. That's a bitch who ain't used to having nothing and don't want nobody else to get it. You dirty lying motherfucker. And you gonna refer somebody over here to my page to prove that something that you didn't do, bitch? If you don't go sit the whole entire fuck down, all you do is run around here and lie and act as if you have information about people. And you think that you gonna send somebody over here after you fell up on them hoes pages who called themselves having a doxing session about me? You think you're gonna come over here and say that the reason why I was giving my keychains out that's a reason, that's the oldest trick in the book, and that's how people get your information so they can dox you? When I'm giving out something to my subscribers as a thanks for being a member? And now that you sitting out here looking like the bumbling idiot you are, you trying to act as if you trying to instill something of importance on people in the beef sector, but you don't say a word important. You don't say one word important. But you think that you're going to reference me as someone who knows that you've said, no, you ain't never said a goddamn thing important in this beef sector. All you do is try to make yourself feel better about yourself. And that is indicative of someone who has real low self-esteem and self-worth, bitch. But you coming over to the beef sector to try to up your self-worth. That says a whole lot about you. And you ain't said nothing of value in this beef sector. Don't reference me for shit, motherfucker. Reference me with continue to lie, motherfucker. Continue to act like you have an insight into anything in my life, especially my health information. Continue to lie and say that me giving back to the people who subscribe to me is a way to dox them. The fuck I want to dox somebody for? And you sitting up on the pages of bitches who took a demand from another good doxing ass bitch to go live on Ronnie Q, surviving Ronnie Q. You sitting up on a page of bitches who trying to dox me, bitch. Some hating ass bitches who mad 3 months later I allegedly said something and I ain't said shit. Just some dumb hating ass bitches who took command from another stupid hating ass bitch. And you sitting up over there while they call themselves doxing me. What you find out about me? Not a goddamn thing. You ain't found out a goddamn thing about me. Thank you, Dr. Soapy. Goals. I didn't even put my goals up. Hey, Ray Black. Hey, Binge Thinker, thank you for being here. So do not reference Ronnie Q to try to absolve yourself of walking around these beef sector streets trying to be the elite nigga who ain't got nothing to offer to this wealth of Black people, when all of this stuff is going on to try to eliminate all Black progress and put Black people back where they were in Jim Crow time. Motherfucker, it's too late, motherfucker. You ain't opened your motherfucking mouth about none of this. None of this shit. Come running like the town crier the day before the election. Baby, you guys better vote. This is the most important election. No. You don't get no brownie points for that, bitch. If people hadn't been registered to vote, a whole lot of people were cast out to be able to vote on the day of the election. You didn't know that? You didn't know that, you good sedity motherfucker? Oh, no, y'all bougie now. Same bullshit. When you call yourself sedity, when you call yourself bougie, the only person you are trying to impress is yourself. To call yourself a bougie means that you need to try to impart that on yourself because you feel less than. The whole point of trying to say that you're bougie, that means that you already know you feel less than. Okay, so hey Lashana Allen, thank you for being here. Hey Ray Black, hey Bo Pink, hey Liz Livos. Let me see who else I missed. If I missed anybody, that's okay, Liz. Listen, let me make sure there's nothing else that I wanted to. So Gummy Bama, girl, go somewhere and sit your ass down because nobody cares about you still mad that you got your mod stick taken for taking people out of my chat after we had a discussion about don't do that. Don't take people out of my chat because you don't like them. And then you tried it again. And Ronnie Q's gonna do what? Ronnie Q's gonna get rid of your mod stick. So if you want to get on your telephone and call King Roman like he my daddy, if you want to get on the telephone and call King Roman because you got a platform to sit up and lie, unquestioned, unabashed, nobody giving you any pushback, you keep on calling King Roman then, bitch. But I'm gonna tell you the absolutely truth. I ain't gonna try to dance around it or nothing, bitch. I took your mod stick because you kept taking blocking James, and I told you don't do it. So the next time you did it, I took your mod stick. And what? And what? Bitch, if you want to block James, start you a channel. If you want to block James, start you a channel, and then you start blocking James on your channel. Okay. Hey, Miss Queenie, Grand Rising. Very Carrie. Madison, it's good to see you over here. I think I hope I didn't miss anyone. You are late. I am not late. Well, I was 5 minutes late. I am so upset. I messed up. All of the stuff that I had to discuss for today, I messed up when I was copying and pasting it over. I forgot to save it. I had added 3 more things this morning, and then I looked and I said, "Oh, it's 4:05. I'm late." Foot Soldier gonna be like, "Ronnie Q, you show up late all the time," and that's exactly what I was. And that's so funny that she said that, and I forgot to save it, and so the last thing I added, I had put on there, and then I went to copy and paste it, and then only copied and paste the last thing that I put on there. So it's going to be, what did I want to talk about today? First of all, let's start off with the mayor. You guys know about the mayor of Newark who was arrested. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is saying one thing, but we see another thing that really happened. So let me share my screen with you guys, and let's take a look at what they're saying happened as opposed to what actually happened. They released the body cam. So let's start here.
Brought you the trial that captivated the nation.
This is a commercial. Okay.
Of the largest city, you are here on private property. On private property.
All right, this is the last. I'm not. Listen, this is the last one.
Oh, it's Congresswoman. Let's show some respect. Show some respect. You have no respect.
Listen, Congressmen are different. Congresswomen are different. Mr. Mayor, anyone that is not a congresswoman or man, step out. It's the last warning. You will be placed on arrest.
Don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
No,
please. We at a gate. Back up.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. So they clearly said, everyone but a congressman or congresswoman, step out the gate or you will be arrested. What is he doing? It is the mayor in the dark right here. This is inside the gate. This is outside the gate. Did he comply? Okay. Okay. We see what happened. Let's go.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Now, who is this in this little blue suit who comes immediately out of the gate after the mayor? This is the mayor over here. The mayor is fully out of the gate. What is he going to do? Why did they release the pictures with their face fuzz? There's another question.
Shame on you people.
They're saying that because he was on this side, that
Now, that was a congressman who was still on the inside. They said everyone but a congresswomen and congressmen, you have to leave. Now, they're leaving out themselves to go arrest the mayor. This police, he's leaving out of the gate to go out of the gate to where they told him to go so he wouldn't be arrested to arrest him.
Where's my congresswoman? Where's my congresswoman?
So you see him slam this, I think that's a woman, to the ground. Yeah, he slammed that woman to the ground to get to the mayor. All their faces are covered in this Department of Homeland Security video that was released about this incident. Okay, so let me drop the link for you guys since I messed up on my links today. This is from the Associated Press. You can watch the whole thing, and I'm going to move on to what was said by the Department of Homeland Security about what happened. So let's hear what they had to say about what happened. Okay, this is the Department of Homeland Security. DHS official says arresting lawmakers over New Jersey ICE facility incident is definitely on the table. Okay, so this is what she had to say. Oh, hold on. I didn't share my screen. Did I share my screen? No, I didn't share my screen. Here we go. You saw what happened. So let's hear what they say happened.
Just broadly, what happened there at the facility that justified arresting the mayor of the city of Newark?
Thanks, Victor, for having me. I'm glad I can be here to actually give viewers the facts. What happened is that these members of Congress, including the mayor as well, and a mob of protesters, as there was a bus full of detainees going through the gate, they stormed the gate and actually entered the first security checkpoint. This put law enforcement at risk, and this actually put the detainees as well at risk. If any official, including these members,
Did you see any of that happen? Did you see a bus pulling in, first of all? No, you didn't. Did you see them storm the gates? No, you saw him on the other side of the gate because they were let in on the other side of the gate. And when he was told he had to leave, he left. But all of a sudden, they are putting the ICE officials in jeopardy. They are putting the people who are locked up in jeopardy. How?
members of Congress want to enter. If any official, including these members of Congress, want to enter the facility and take a tour, DHS is more than accommodating. But just because you're a member of Congress does not mean you can break the law, trespass, put law enforcement at risk, and storm the detention facility. I have yet to hear.
Okay, when did any of that happen? Storm the detention facility. detention facility. When did any of this happen? Just because you're a congressperson, well, are you trying to say that Congress people did that? Well, if Congress people did that, why did you arrest the mayor? And why was it said that unless you are a congressperson, you will have to leave, and the mayor left and they were allowed to stay? Okay, bullshit. It's bullshit.
Anyone on this network actually talk about who is in this detention facility? There are members of MS-13, known terrorists, murderers, child rapists. There are some of the worst in this.
So they were going to put the Congress people and the mayor were going to put these worst of the worst in jeopardy? How so, bitch? Okay. Let's continue.
Detention facility. And I'm still very confused why these Democrats are so hell-bent on getting these heinous actors out of this facility when we have the proper permitting. And actually, in that press conference, those members of Congress actually noted the great conditions of this facility that are.
Well, wait a minute. Well, okay. You can't say two things and think that you are getting over. You said that they said it was a good facility. How would they know? Because you let them in to inspect it. So where is all of this? They ran in after a bus and they can't do this. They were giving a tour of the facilities, which is in their job, because this was a facility that had previously been closed down, and since they started using the facility again, that was what they were doing, being there the past 3 or 4 days, making sure that you guys just didn't prop up a piece of trash facility and was housing people in it. Because could we put that past 45, 47? I wouldn't trust anything. I trust but verify is what they say. So they were verifying that you guys were up to code, and you want to now say that, oh, they even said that everything was up to par because you gave them a tour, and now you're trying to say something totally opposite in the reasoning why you arrested the mayor.
ICE enforcement officers so bravely operate.
So, as you said in here today and in your statement, that they stormed the gate and broke into the detention center, according to the statement. Was anybody else arrested other than the mayor of Newark?
There were multiple people arrested. And Victor, I think that we should let viewers know there will likely be more arrests coming. We actually have body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers, including body slamming a female ICE officer. So we will be showing that to viewers very shortly.
You say a video of members of Congress body slamming ICE
That's correct.
officials?
That's correct, sir.
But I didn't see that. But what we did see is a female. Now they're trying to represent that the woman who was body slammed was an ICE official. Bullshit. You saw what happened. I'm going to drop this link in the chat, and I'm going to let me drop this link in the chat, and I'm going to show you the mayor speaking, and there is more footage of what actually went on there. So let me share this page with you guys. Here we go. Uh-oh. Hold on. Here it is. This one right here. I think I want. Yes, this is the one I want.
And
it starts small, doing what you can when.
Hold on. Let's get over this commercial. Okay. And it brings me up on another commercial. Okay, this is the one that I wanted to share with you guys.
The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ras Braca, who just was released in the last hour, waiting to talk to us.
Nice.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Mayor, it is great to see you. I know you have had quite a day. First, let me just ask you how you're doing right now.
I'm okay, a little tired, but doing pretty good. Thank you. Thank God.
Thank God for that. I know you're back with your family. I know you have been charged with trespassing, which just seems completely insane. We've seen the video. We just spoke with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, who was there with you today. And she said you were on public property at the time of your arrest. She also said that you left the premises when officers asked you to. Were you told at all why you were charged with trespassing?
And we did see that he was in the driveway. We saw none of this buses, none of this anything. Let's continue.
No, they charged me, I guess, based on the charges they can find. We was actually allowed on the property in the first place. Nothing happened for a long time. For at least over an hour. And then, after they finally told us to leave and I told them I was leaving, they came outside the gate and arrested me. So it looked like it was targeted.
It certainly looked like that from watching. And I know there's lots of questions I'm sure you have, we all have. Have you heard, are those charges still pending? Have they been dropped? Have you been given any indication of that?
No, they haven't been dropped. I can't completely talk about the particulars of the case, they said, but have to appear in court again. So they have not dropped the charges. I've been charged with a Class C misdemeanor, a federal trespass.
That is, let me ask you, you were detained for a couple of hours today. Where were you detained after you were arrested?
I was in a Homeland Security kind of barracks, a cell that they have there. I was being held there. And the guys from Homeland Security were very gracious, very respectful, treated me with respect and integrity. So I have nothing but respect for those guys. But, it was still a uncomfortable and, humiliating situation for me.
Absolutely. You had, again, I'll just restate this, every right to be there. The delegation had every right to visit this facility. I know you've been trying to call attention to this facility and wanting the delegation to gain access to it, which they have every right to do. Tell us about why and what concerns you might have that you want people to be aware of.
Well, our concern is with GEO, the group that's getting $63 million on this contract annually. They came into the city. They have a CO from 20 years ago. The city's law say you need to have a new CO, updated CO. They refused to do that, so we're in dispute about that in court. They wouldn't allow the the health inspectors, the UCC inspectors, or the fire inspectors into the building, which is why we began coming down there regularly. I was just down there this morning. Actually, we go down there for like 15 minutes, try to get entry. They say no. We give them a citation. We're in the process of being in court. We're in court now. They're violating, just doing what they want to do, really, without respecting our authority or the laws of the city or the state. And the reality is we're in a dispute. Like they have one point of view, we have another point of view. But disputes are settled in court. Like ICE doesn't settle our disputes, neither does the President of the United States, nor does the U.S. Attorney. Disputes are settled in a court of law, which is what we were doing. They, taking a lead from the President of the United States, they feel like they could just violate any court and do whatever they want.
You had a harrowing day, an absurd day today. I think a day that's really outraged a lot of people, including myself. Have you thought about taking any legal action in light of what took place today and what happened to you?
Well, we're going through this process now, and obviously I will confer with my lawyers to figure out what's the best pathway forward on this. I think they completely violated my rights. I'm the mayor of the city. I have the right to go anywhere in this city. Particularly in places where I think our laws are being violated. I went on in a driveway with our healthcare inspectors and our fire inspectors early on, and we've been doing that for the last couple of days. They've been ignoring us, and actually the Congress people who have oversight on this went onto the property and tried to get inside, and they made them wait over an hour, and they never got in, never.
They mentioned that, and one of the things that the congresswoman I spoke with alluded to is that she thinks they were tipped off, that perhaps they were tipped off to you coming. I don't know. Of course, this all needs to be looked into, but the nature of your arrest with masked members of ICE just felt, and we've all seen the video, incredibly suspect. Just watching it.
It was terrible.
Go.
Yeah,
Two of my
they obviously targeted me. It was more. I wasn't the only one out there. They came directly to me, right? And tried to arrest me. No one else. Me. And so I honestly believe, I was targeted there. And, it's interesting to see all these people making these comments on social media, from the government about why I was there. I didn't come down there to protest. I came down there for a press conference with the Congress people. I knew I was going to get in the building with them. I was waiting for them to return from outside of the building to participate in the press conference with them. I was already there earlier that morning. I didn't need to, if I wanted to protest, I could have protested that morning.
I don't know if you've seen Alina Habba's comments, and I can ask our team if they have them. We can perhaps play them. But to your point, the administration has been out there lying about what the members of Congress were there for and what you were there for. Have you seen any of what they've said publicly? It sounds like you have.
I have. I've seen it. The members of Congress didn't come down here to protest. They came down here to get a tour of the building. They made them wait over an hour. I was waiting outside for them to return so I could be a part of a press conference that they were having after it to talk to us about what they actually saw in the building. Unfortunately, none of that got to take place because the gentleman you see in his photo, the video had completely escalated this situation to a point where it didn't need to be.
Mayor Barack, I know you've had quite a long day. Before I let you go, do you have any plans to go back to this ICE facility, or perhaps ask the governor or senators to go back tomorrow?
Okay, I left that link. I dropped it in the chat. Hey, Nappy Child. Hey, Jill's Comfort Zone. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. Liz, did I speak? If not, hey, Liz. Z Sarah, hello. LaShonda Allen, hello. I think I spoke earlier. So let's talk about come fly with me, come fly away. Doom, 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 doom. Now, if you guys was over here if you guys are some of the 20 people over here watching my political news Friday, I did a story on how weird it was that all of a sudden 4547 was commending the Houthis. You know, the Houthis who have been in what it appears to be an illegal war with, because Congress is the one who declared war, who we were striking on a daily basis, who Hegseth came out here and said how terrible of a people that they were when he got busted on that Signal app, giving people unauthorized access to their next drop on the Houthis. Remember, he said that they were the worst of the worst. Of course they were. If you guys got to cover, everybody's the worst of the worst. If you guys got to, everybody. Oh, excuse me. Pretty soon, the United States citizens will be described as the worst of the worst. This is why I talk about these things. Do you guys think that I give a fuck about motherfuckers who vote outside of their interests? No, you're putting my motherfucking interests at risk. And so things like suspending habeas corpus behind your ass, that affects me as well. We're going to talk about suspending habeas corpus. Did y'all hear Talent talk about any of this anywhere? No, you didn't hear that motherfucker say a motherfucking thing. So now all of a sudden Friday, they had 4547 came out here and commended the Qatar troops, talking about they took a very hard pounding. And, they are very brave people. Wait. These are people who you guys were just striking. Then over the weekend, what breaks? Can you put two and two? Can anybody put two and two together? Let me put it together for you. So Qatar has said that they are going to give a 4547 a $400 million 747, a flying palace, as it were. So they said that they're going to give it to him, and then they tried to figure out the 4547 administration takes it to Pam, what do I call her? Pam Bimbo, and try to see how is it will 4547 be allowed to accept this planes. You know, there's a small little thing called the emoluments clause. I'm not going to re-explain it. See, because this is stuff that I talk about in politics. I don't, y'all better vote, y'all better get out there. It's bad out there. See, I don't do all of that surface level shit. And if you ain't caught on, you got to catch up on your own. So there's this little thing called the emoluments clause that doesn't allow anyone in our government to take something over a certain dollar amount. And it's surely not $400 million. So, of course, Pam Bimbo says, "Oh, yes, he's donating it to the military." However, he's not donating it to the military. What does the military need a floating palace for? It's a donation to 4547, which after he ends his term, it will be transferred over to his library. So, who knows or what 4547 considers the end of his term to be. That's one thing. Anytime they are trying to take away, well, they have taken away due process, and anytime they're talking about taking away habeas corpus, will they take away this? That's neither here nor there. So it's not even intended to be get a donation to the military. But Ronnie Q, what's your point? My point is they told you that the people that they were fighting in Yemen, the Houthis, they were backed by who? Iran. And Qatar is friends and Qatar is friends and in alignment with who? Iran. So all of a sudden, on Friday, you got your 4547 coming out here saying, "Oh, well, they said that they don't want to fight us no more, and we're going to take them at our word." And they are some really strong people, and they took see, is anybody explaining or does anybody know about this? Don't that sound strange? They were the worst people on the world. They saw him go into on that signal message. They were so bad that they didn't flinch at unaliving civilians. Well, we saw him go into his girlfriend's house, and then a couple seconds later, it was flattened. So I assume the girlfriend didn't make it either. These were horrible people. You must understand. They had to go through horrible measures. But let's understand, at the same time they were doing these strikes, they were in concert with Israel. So Israel ain't never seen a non-militant person that they didn't mind making a casualty of their wars. So hey, Renee, Grand Rising. So y'all knew any of this? So let me share now that the news leaked out this weekend, and is he over there in Dubai already? I think he's over in Dubai already. I think it was this weekend he went to Dubai. So now the word's getting out, and even his French lunatic new person that he's bought back into his fold, Laura Loomer, the conspiracy theorist, the loon, the one who got Mike Waltz hauled off from the White House, left him stranded at Andrews Air Force Base when they fired him in the middle of a connecting flight. Even that bitch said that this looks bad. Even Laura Loomer, anytime you got Laura Loomer saying that this looks bad, it's horrible. She says she would take a bullet for him, but this looks really bad for the administration. That's what his sycophant said. Let me share the link with you guys. About now he's freaking out that this hasn't gone over well. He thought that, hey, if I don't try to sneak and do it, if I just boldly do it and have Pam Bimbo say, oh, it's okay, it doesn't affect anything, maybe the people would just go for it. No, the people ain't going for it. So you are taking a $400 million jet, and you think the people don't think that you are expected to give something back for this? You don't think that we know that this is a quid pro quo? Okay, here we go. So let's see what he was up to on Truth Social, spazzing out about.
Trump is poised to accept a $400 million gift from Qatar. This morning, news broke that Donald Trump is poised to accept a $400 million gift from Qatar in the form of a luxury Boeing 747 that Trump's going to use as Air Force One before ultimately taking personal ownership of the aircraft before leaving office. This would represent one of, if not the biggest corruption scandals in the history of this country, wherein a president doesn't just violate the Emoluments Clause, but violates it to the tune of $400 million. Now, obviously, Donald Trump felt the blowback from the reporting, and so to mitigate the damage, he took to Truth Social, writing, so the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers. MAGA. First of all, this is not the Defense Department getting a gift. This is Donald Trump getting a gift and pretending that it coming via the Defense Department to him means that somehow it doesn't violate the Emoluments Clause in the Constitution. So that we're clear, the plane is going to be used by Trump while he's president and then transferred to his personal ownership after his term. This isn't some gift to America. It is a gift to Donald Trump. The technical ownership structure doesn't change the fact that Qatar is giving a $400 million asset that will ultimately benefit Trump personally to him. Second, the fact that it's, as Trump says, a gift free of charge is quite literally the problem. That is what makes it an Emoluments Clause violation. When you pay for things, the transaction is money for goods or services. But when you don't pay for things, then that raises questions among the rest of us as to what the Qataris get out of this. Qatar isn't giving a $400 million jet out of the goodness of their hearts. They expect something in return. That's how transactional relationships work, and no one understands transactional relationships better than Donald Trump. Which raises the question, what exactly is Qatar buying with this $400 million gift? Is it access, influence, favorable trade terms, military protection, something beyond all of that? We don't know, and that is precisely the problem. When foreign governments can simply purchase the president's favor with luxury gifts, American interests take a backseat to the president's personal enrichment. And no one is more susceptible, by the way, to selling the country out for his own personal enrichment than Donald Trump himself. Third, Trump says that this is being done, quote, in a very public and transparent transaction. Trump is of the mind that if you commit criminal or corrupt behavior in broad daylight, that it somehow makes it not criminal or corrupt. Taking a bribe in the form of a $400 million airplane isn't okay because you tell everyone it's happening. Just like setting a building on fire isn't okay as long as you live stream it. It's still illegal. We can all just see it happening. And this is a recurring theme for Trump. He's claimed, for example, that he's going to run for a third term, which is unconstitutional, but he says it anyway and thinks that by virtue of saying it out loud, it's somehow okay. He's obstructed Congress by ordering his administration to ignore congressional subpoenas. He's obstructed justice by firing the FBI director, James Comey, and admitting that the Russia investigation motivated it. He's pressured Georgia officials to find 11,780 non-existent votes to overturn the election results, pretending that that was somehow a perfect phone call and a perfect motivating factor. He's mishandled classified documents by taking them to Mar-a-Lago from the White House. All of this was documented, all of it was public, and Trump owned up to all of it because we all saw it happen. Again, to use an analogy, murdering somebody in public doesn't make it legal, it just makes it so that everybody could see what you are doing. And finally, the fourth and final point, Donald Trump says that Democrats insist we pay top dollar for the plane, and that somehow makes the Democrats losers. Yeah, dude. We insist that you pay for the plane because when goods are exchanged for money, then it's not a bribe. We like when politicians are not corrupt assholes. We think.
Okay, and on top of this, there is a new Air Force One that is scheduled to be introduced in 2028 or 2029. So they already had one underway. So the age of this aircraft, this 40-year-old Air Force One. Why don't you, if it's so subpar, why don't you fly around in your own aircraft? You have I think you got a 757. Why don't you fly around in that bird? How old is that? That shit was probably, no, it couldn't have been 40. That shit probably was close to 40 years old when you purchased it. Because when you purchased it, you were pretending to be a billionaire. Okay, so kind of like, let's think about why Canada and other nations said that they will no longer be buying their planes from the United States because they can't trust them. They don't want to be in a war fight and then all of a sudden somebody has the control to shut their airplanes down. They don't trust us to buy their warplanes from American manufacturers. So, does it then stand to reason that why would the American president take a whole 747 palace that has a whole lot of extra shit? Let me show you a picture of the inside of this palace. Could there possibly be a way? I wonder that they could sneak something in somewhere in all of this gaudy gold. I mean, it definitely was made for him. All of this gaudy gold and chandeliers and all of this that would be detrimental to America's security. They don't take our security seriously anyway, as we have heard from all of the things that they are not doing to concentrate on all of these ICE raids, all the money that they are taking from making sure we are secured cyberly. They're putting this money into this ICE shit. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I searched for the wrong thing. Hold on 1 second. Do I have it? I don't know. I don't think I saved it. Okay. Now, it went from them offering to give him a plane to the Forbes newest story on this is Trump administration defense plan. Hold on. To accept luxury plane as a gift from Qatar. Here's what we know. Let me see if there's a picture of this plane. This wasn't a story no, because this is a news story. I apologize. I'm not going to hold you guys up. Maybe, let me see. I really want you to see this little gaudy plane. Let me see. They call it the flying palace. Let me see if I can find the palace. Oh, Chuck Schumer said nothing says America first like the Air Force One provided to you by Qatar. Let me see. I'm trying to find a picture of the inside of the plane. America first. America first. Let me see. I can't find it. Nope, I can't find it. Oh, I cannot find it. Now, this is at a time this is at a time when our airplanes can't fly certain places. All of this is going on when we are having problems with our FAA. Who gave me that? Jackson Street, thank you for becoming a member. Good morning. Grand Rising Kings, Mina. Um, that we're having, you said keep looking. You want to see? Girl, let me find. I, I, I was going let me see. I think I may have saved it. Hold on. Let me look into my bookmarks. I think I bookmarked it. I hope I bookmarked it. Girl, I lost all of my little links I had prepared for the show this morning when I was trying to copy them and paste them. I don't see it. Now, y'all, while we're looking for that, what do you guys think about? I didn't know this Friday when somebody asked me about the Pope. Oh, they are hot and bothered about this Pope. Do you understand that they are saying that the Pope got a little a pimp slap in him? The Pope is allegedly what is it? Part Haitian and Creole. Did you guys know that about the Pope? And they are up in arms about the Pope, and they're saying they're so mad about him because he doesn't follow 45, 47's politics, and he is an open borders person, and he says some disparaging things about none other than JD Vance. They say nothing about JD Vance being an avid supporter of what's his name, Curtis Yarvin, who is a avid supporter of Adolf. They don't no. They have nothing to say about his teachings. Okay, let me see. Let me see. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that that is a real reason that they're mad, or could there be another reason? Let me see. I see the outside of the aircraft. The outside of the aircraft is the alleged aircraft that I have on my thumbnail. That is the actual outside. Let's look inside this jet. Let me see. Trump is visiting Gulf Arab states while crisis flare in Gaza and Iran. On his trip this week to the Middle East, Trump will visit Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. Though his most pressing regional challenges concern two other countries, Israel and Iran. I think that his trip to Qatar, Qatar, or Qatar, whichever way you want to pronounce it, will ease some of that Iranian tension, however. I'm looking. The Daily Beast has a story, and it is titled "Pam Bondi Cooks Up a Brazen Scheme to Give Trump a Free Plane." Of course she did. Well, of course she did. Let me see. The plane, Boeing launched the Boeing 777-8 in 2011. The plane is known to be so luxurious that it has been called a flying palace. Give us pictures. Give us pictures. Please be on here. Oh. Let me see. The Wall Street Journal reported that aviation company L3 Harris has been commissioned to overhaul the gift to meet presidential jet standards. The plane will be transferred to the United States Air Force to be modified to meet specifications required according to multiple sources. Specification. All that he is worried about is the luxury. Safety be damned. He'd be like, you guys handle that. I get somebody to handle that. He just wanted to have a gold throne. Okay, let me see. Okay, the plane then will be transferred again at the end of Trump's presidency to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation, no later than January 1st, 2029. That's when the new plane will be commissioned I'm pretty sure. Our sources told ABC News that all costs related to such transfers will be paid for by the U.S. Air Force. And the Air Force, where Air Force get money from? The U.S. taxpayer. Ain't that a bitch? No wonder he wants to make sure that they increase the Pentagon budget to $1 trillion. You got shit. You motherfuckers got to get my airplane to. You guys got to get my airplane to my library after all of this is over. Let me see. I am looking. Did anybody find this? Somebody alert me if y'all find this. I can't remember which media. I think it was Mediaite. Let me see. I think I'll may be able to find it now. Oh, he said, I think I got it in here. He says that you guys are world-class losers for thinking he won't take this plane. Democrats pounce on the report that President Donald Trump is to receive an enormous gift from the nation of Qatar in the form of a lavishly outfitted Boeing 787 Dreamliner, described as a flying palace previously owned by the Qatari royal family. A flying grift, according to one Democrat who has formally demanded an investigation. Please show pictures of the flying palace in this article. Please. Please, no. Okay, Congress. They already have the actual letter. A two-page letter calling for an investigation into this gift. Okay, I got that. I just, where is the pictures of the inside of this dang on? I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find it. I'm gonna try one more place. One more place. I know Fox News ain't gonna show it. One more place. Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Let me see. Don't do me wrong. Do not do me wrong. They did me wrong. PBS doesn't have it. I don't know why I thought they would. I can't find it. I apologize. Renee, you're going to have to you're gonna have to find it for yourself, Renee. I can't find pictures of the jet. Let me see. Now the New York Post is usually good at being is it pic says that these aren't the pictures that I saw. This looks like okay. I found these are not the pictures that I saw. This shit looks unluxurious by my standards. I saw pictures with chandeliers hanging and gold leaf. This looked like the regular Air Force One. Okay, I found something that is different than what I expected. Let me share my screen with you. Finally. You want to see it, Renee? Is Renee even still here? I told you to stop looking 5 minutes ago. I was looking, I didn't see it. I'm behind the scenes looking. So I didn't see it. And it's not the pictures that I originally saw. Let's start from the top. Okay, this is the New York Post. You can be sure to find something on the New York Post. Okay, so that's the allegedly the shell of the plane. This isn't what I saw. This is like what's so luxurious about this? What do you guys think? I mean, that looks like a comfortable place to have a meeting on the plane, but I mean, it looks like airplane seats. They don't show the private parts of the plane. Well, they could have did something to the cockpit to make it look comfortable. Those seats are they don't look comfortable. Chest and backgammon boards. Okay. One of the bathrooms. It looks like a airplane bathroom. I don't think these are the right pictures at all. I just can't imagine. Okay, here we got more. Okay. Nice wood. It is nice wood. I will give them that. Oh, now we get into something that looks familiar to what I saw on the other pictures. Okay. Everything looked like it's coated in plastic or something. I don't know. I'm not fond of that texture brocade couch covering. But I guess it beats this. It looks like he's in a regular airplane. I guess it beats that. So there are some of the pictures. There was a picture of a hallway. It was it had a big chandelier hanging down, a long chandelier, and it had a whole lot of gold mirrors around. Oh, I like that shoe that was over there. Where'd the shoe go? Okay, so those are the pictures that I have for you. I'm sorry that it took me so long to find them. Now, let me stop sharing my screen. Oh, I did. That is the alleged plane that Qatar is giving to 4547, that they're saying that it's going to actually be given to the military. However, when 4547 term is over, it's going to be then transferred to the possession of his library. The plane is a $400 million plane. So the military and it's a gift to the United States. It's a gift to the United States. That 45 and 47 will have complete ownership in when he leaves the White House. Don't you get it? That's what they said. It's a gift to the United States. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's see what else. Did I? Now, let me finish this portion of him freaking out behind the response to him getting this airplane. Let's see what the Midas Touch have to say about this. He is freaking out. He thought that everybody would just be, oh, okay, he's getting a new plane. Oh, it's okay. And he didn't understand that people would automatically know, no, you're not supposed to get a plane like this from a someone who is not who is basically. You want to tell us how bad Iran is, but these are buddies of Iran.
Breach. Oh yeah, as part of this gift, Donald Trump gets to keep the 747 after he leaves office as part of his hypothetical presidential library. So just a $400 million, at least. I think that's understating a gift from Qatar direct.
Speaking of this library fund, they said that you would not believe how many foreign nationalists have contributed to this library fund, and they are wondering, along with the Bitcoin money that is flush with foreign money, who large amounts of foreign money, and this library fund. They are basically questioning, is this his slush fund? He doesn't have to give much information. It's just like, oh, it's a gift to your library. There's a lot of questions behind this library. That maybe he had to take his book bans to his personal library and leave all the rest of the United States children to learn different subjects that he does not agree with.
Directly to Donald Trump to use as Air Force One. Are you kidding me? If that doesn't make you pissed, well, then Donald Trump goes around and says, we fixed inflation. Everything is great. Prices are so much lower. Aren't you rich now? Don't you feel great again? No, Donald, you're a scammer. You're a Ponzi schemer. And what you're doing with your trade war against the world, reckless and careless, going around and disparaging the United States' reputation across the world while enriching yourself is obvious for all to see. Take a look. Donald Trump's posting about it. Here was his post last night. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers. MAGA. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, Trump's, quote, very public and transparent transaction on the Qatar jet grift only came to light after confidential sources told ABC and others about it. So Donald Trump then needs to distract from the fact that he's done another deal to enrich himself. And by the way, we could get into it as well. In addition to the $400 million plane, Donald Trump is building resorts in Qatar. Donald Trump is building resorts in Oman, paid for by the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund using $2 billion of Trump crypto. Donald Trump Jr. creating a club called the Executive Branch, which costs $500,000 to join, which Don Jr. leads with the quote-unquote crypto czar, a guy named David Sachs, and they throw parties at five-star hotels for access. With all of that going on, how's Trump going to distract? Well, his next one is claiming that he is lowering prescription drug prices by 30% to 80% based on price controls that he is unilaterally implementing. So here's what went down yesterday. First, he posts the following. My next truth will be one of the most important and impactful I have ever issued. Enjoy! Exclamation point.
Okay, I've dropped the link to that there. If let me see it. Let me see it. Do I want to hear this paragraph? Let me see. I may want to hear this paragraph. I may want you to hear this paragraph. I haven't. Oh, okay. So he's talking about the pharmaceutical. Speaking of, let's talk about these tariffs. Remember that Scott Bessent, they found out that China was going to be in Switzerland, and so they came at them and said, "Hey, we can meet you over in Switzerland. Oh, you want to talk to us? You want to talk to us? You want to talk to us?" So China scrolls them in. So now, early this morning, there has been an announcement that there has been an agreement on the Chinese tariffs. So if you're a big company, see if you can live with this agreement. It's another 90-day pause on the tariffs. And instead of having to pay China having to pay 145% tariffs, they only have to pay a 30% tariff. So 47 has only increased the cost of the things that you have to buy from China which is damn near everything, 30%. So you're instead of this, I'm not going to be able to shop. You are going to be able to shop, but everything is going to cost you 30% more. And let's understand that it is estimated that once prices go up for any type of emergency calls or anything like that, they never go back down to the original prices. The prices went up during the pandemic, and the prices never went down to pre-pandemic prices. So 30% more for everything. The man who was going to make the cost of your eggs go down. People said they voted on him because of the economy. Hey, good morning, Church Mouse. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So what do you guys think about that? Let me let the great Scott Bessent tell you how the meetup with China went. None other than Scott Bessent, our Please, Department of the Treasury. Who better to explain this than Scott Bessent? Hold on. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, here he is. Here we go.
Show continues.
So what's going on in Switzerland?
He totally panicked. So, so we'll get right into it. Let's go.
We had very productive talks, and I believe that the venue here on Lake Geneva added great equanimity to what was a very positive process. We have reached an agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels. Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%.
So what's going on in Switzerland?
There is a now.
Does that not sound like a proof of life video? Does it not seem like there are loaded pow-pows at his head as he's speaking? And there's more, but wait, there's more.
Now a 90-day pause on the tariffs. So is the trade war still going? It's paused. That's just from the U.S. and the China perspective. They're both.
Much that they're going down?
So it's going to be 115% down on the tariffs on both sides. So again, that's 115, 115. I know we get confused when you talk about these numbers. So then as of now, and they're acting like they had never talked before. So
hold on. Let me get past this commercial.
We had very robust discussions. Both sides showed great respect. It was a chance for me to meet the Chinese delegation.
China bitch slapped us around. You see this up at the top. China bitch slapped. Of course, you had great respect. If you didn't, you would have been in a world of trouble. And we still got to pay 30% more for everything that we buy for absolutely no reason than that this 45-47 decided that he was going to put up in some fucking tariff war with China for absolutely no reason. Make it make sense. And he's trying to make this sound like something good has happened.
The vice premier, I had previously had only a video call with. Ambassador Jameson was familiar with two of the other leaders on the delegation from his previous time. So there was very good personal interaction. Both countries represented their national interests very well. We concluded that we have shared interest, and we both have an interest in balanced trade. The U.S. will continue moving towards that.
They're going to claim victory on, hey, we've got teams to talk to each other, right? No, yeah. So and then to be fair, it is a pause of the tariffs. But the idea is that, like, you know, Trump caused this trade war, and then he retreats from the trade war. So you can certainly make the case that Trump caved, because he was acting like, I'm not going to lower tariffs unless I get everything that I want. There's no word on, you know, that China's going to build a whole bunch of factories in USA. There's nothing. Then it was the same with UK. No one in England said, hey, we're going to go build a bunch of factories in USA, because Trump keeps promising everyone's getting a bunch of jobs. Right? That's what he keeps promising.
Yeah, but I don't know how no one's want to build a factory.
Yeah, like where's the money going to come from?
Even the Mattel says no, and ship company says no.
Right.
And what's
even Apple is like, you know what?
And Tesla, no.
well, Apple's gonna. I mean, they're just saying, more phone and devices are going to come from Vietnam and India. And I've told you guys before, if you love Elon Musk and you love Donald Trump, ask Elon Musk to bring all his factories around the world, bring them back to to the USA. And they're not going to do it. That. But Trump keeps like putting out this, frankly, lie that all of these factory jobs are going to return. So that's why I'm saying, like, if there is indeed a victory from the Trump.
Because if we all remember, this is what it was about. We need to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. So this 90 days, what has been said about all of these factories that were underway? They said that people are already building these factories. They couldn't say what type of factories, what these factories would be creating. Remember when they were not hearing anything from China, they were trying to assure us that these factories were being built. Not even that they were refurbishing old unused factories. No, they were building new factories. For what they didn't elaborate on. So are we going to have new factories built and up and ready to run in 90 days? What's going to happen in 90 days? They're going to serve this. They're going to act like none of this ever happened, and they're going to act like they gained so much money. And let's understand, why was it so pressing that they get this deal done sooner than later? Because our ports are empty. That is why. So I'm going to, while these don't think that they are wrong about talking about manufacturing, because that is one of the other guys that they put on us, that they were going to bring manufacturing back to the United States. So here's the link to this. Now I want to let me give you these ladies. I really like them. Wait a minute. I may want to give you someone else because it's very interesting how they are attacking the Pope. The Christian right is attacking the Pope. Do you believe is it the Pope's agenda to agree with 45, 47? Has it ever been his agenda? Maybe that's why J.D. Vance went over there and gave the last Pope the kiss of death. He was dead within hours of meeting with J.D. Vance. Or could it be that this Pope from Chicago has grandparents of Creole and Haitian heritage? So let's see how MAGA melts down over a woke Marxist Pope, they say. Not only is he woke, he's also a Marxist. Okay.
And I was not planning to talk about this until this morning. And I do want to get one thing out of the way. I don't really cover papal elections or talk much about the Catholic Church. I'm certainly not a Catholic. I don't care who wears the big hat, for lack of a better term. I don't follow the Vatican like it's the Oscars. But there is a MAGA meltdown happening over the new Pope that is a different story. It's sort of a tangential story. And it is utterly fascinating because it says so much about MAGA, and it undercuts the idea that religion is even important to them. It's, as with all of these principles, it's important to the extent that it's convenient. And because some in the MAGA space have now identified the new Pope as maybe holding left-wing values, despite being a registered Republican by what we've been able to find, they are not pleased. So let's go through what happened. The Catholic Church has selected its first ever American Pope. Cardinal Robert Prevost has been designated Pope Leo XIV. Good for him. Prevost is a Chicago-born priest who believes in things like compassion and human dignity and not treating immigrants like disease vectors, much like the recently deceased Argentinian Pope, Pope Francis. And MAGA doesn't like this. MAGA had an absolute total meltdown. And the moment that the white smoke rose from the little chimney, the right-wing fever swamp kicked immediately into overdrive. They started digging through Pope Leo's old tweets like he was applying for a job at PragerU, and they didn't like what they found. They found posts with sympathy for George Floyd. They found posts critical of the now Vice President J.D. Vance. They found posts that, brace yourself, sound suspiciously like actual Christian ethics, and they didn't like it. Now, before being selected, Stephen Bannon was on with Piers Morgan, and he said, I would be very worried if Robert Prevost ends up becoming Pope. Bannon warned about this.
There's never been an American-born Pope. Is this the moment?
I do think one of the dark horses, and I think, unfortunately, he's one of the most progressive, is Cardinal Prevost. I don't think he's getting enough play. He is certainly on the short list as being, and I think it's pretty shocking given how the contempt they hold the American church. The American church gives so much money, they're afraid it has too much power. So they've never really wanted to have an American Pope. But my understanding is Prevost is one of the ones closest to Francis ideologically. He's also had tremendous experience in Latin America. And so he's one of the ones on the short list.
All right. So Bannon then goes on to list other possibilities, but Bannon was right. Prevost was indeed on the short list, and Prevost became Pope. And this is when the floodgates opened. Far-right conspiracy crank Laura Loomer, who seems to have a lot of influence over Donald Trump right now, went into full meltdown mode, calling him a woke Marxist Pope, and later went on with more ranting and said that it's gross that Prevost now, as Pope Leo XIV, will be leading the Catholic Church. She called him anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, pro-open borders, and, quote, a Marxist like Pope Francis. Now, remember that Jesus preached wealth redistribution, but never mind that. Then in comes Newsmax's Rob Schmidt warning minutes before the election that this Pope better not be woke. Now, by MAGA standards, I guess the new Pope is woke, by which I mean that he believes immigrants are people. I know that that's not necessarily a popular view in the MAGA right at this point in time. Then came alt-right grifter Mike Cernovich, who was frothing at the mouth, raging that the new Pope is an open borders globalist, and predicted without evidence that he will soon be pushing abortion. Not pro-choice policies, by the way, just pushing abortion like a door-to-door sales gig. Could I interest you in an abortion? Something I've still never seen anyone do, despite the ranting and raving from the anti-choice right. Joey Manarino is another far-right influencer. He went full panic mode. This guy is worse than Francis. And he even referred to him as a liberal piece of shit and said that we're effed. You can sense how deeply spiritual Manarino is. And then Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA kind of piped in to say the Pope was spreading George Floyd propaganda. But ultimately, Kirk did say, listen, it seems that this guy is a registered Republican. And that's, I guess, good as far as Charlie Kirk is concerned. So Trump says he looks forward to meeting the new Pope. Should be a delightfully awkward meeting. But here's the big takeaway. The MAGA movement now treats everyone and everything as a potential sort of deep state enemy, even the Pope. And it's not over some major, theological disagreement, but because the Pope has shown some moral clarity on issues like immigration and police violence, and even the cruelty of Donald Trump's administration. This is the MAGA mind virus in action. The Pope says, love thy neighbor. They say, that's Marxism. The Pope says, don't vilify immigrants. Well, that's globalism and it's open borders. The Pope says George Floyd's death was a tragedy. They say that's woke propaganda. If he doesn't praise J.D. Vance, then he's betraying people. And what this is a reminder of is that just like with debt and deficit, just like with business regulation, just like with protectionism and isolationism, just like with support the police, support the troops. With every single one of these issues, the actual principles stop mattering once they become politically inconvenient. Because
Exactly. So that's what they have to say about the Pope. I forgot to show you Laura Loomer saying that 4547 is wrong. This is a bad idea to take this plane. I wanted to share with you some of the posts that she is putting out, even though she'll die for him.
By Bill Kristol. Who would I not rather talk to on Mother's Day than Bill Kristol? The grand
we're hoping
of
your
the
wife.
Bulwark.
We're hoping your wife and mother are not watching this. I'm sure they watch everything on the Bulwark.
Is one of the more corrupt acts potentially of an administration I've ever seen, and I've covered stuff for about 2 decades now. I'm curious what Bill's thoughts are. Before we get into it, please do subscribe to the feed. Really appreciate your support here. Tell people about the feed because we think it's a great resource for news and coverage of the Trump administration. All right, so here's the setup. This morning, ABC News comes out with an exclusive. I'm just going to read a little bit of it, and then I'm going to ask Bill for his reaction. Then I'm going to get into what I really think about it. But here's the story. It goes like this. In what may be the most valuable gift ever extended to the United States from a foreign government, the Trump administration is preparing to accept a super luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar, a gift that is to be available for use by President Donald Trump as a new Air Force One until shortly before he leaves office, at which time ownership of the plane will be transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation. So, a foreign government, just to be clear, is going to extend a private palace, a private flying palace, as they call it, that Trump will use officially. And then when he leaves office, we presume, after this term, it will be transferred to his presidential library, where it won't just sit there, I'm assuming. It's just going to be used by Trump. Right. I have never in my life seen a more brazen act of a foreign government trying to influence a president than this. And I will say what's shocking is the story says that, of course, the DOJ and the White House counsel's office looked into this, made sure it was ethically above board, and they determined that everything was kosher because the plane would be given for official use before it's given for private use. Bill.
Yeah, the private use is this foundation, which he totally controls, and we'll use it for his personal use.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. I mean, a couple of points. When I first saw the story break, I thought I didn't realize that he was going to get it back after the official, after the 4 years. Even so, I was kind of disgusted by it. It's such a kind of decadent late empire sort of. The wealthy, country gives you this gold-plated, thing to try to win favor, and as if we can't build our own, Air Force One, the greatest.
I know, right?
So that part just disgusted me, sort of, annoyed me, and just I thought it was sort of embarrassing. Then, of course, then I saw the degree of just pure corruption, as you say. So I thought of it. So I've been in Air Force One a couple of times when I was Vice President Chief of Staff. I was in Air Force Two many, many, many times, and so I have some feel for these are command centers, certainly the Air Force One in particular, but even Air Force Two, obviously confidential phone calls, business, crises happen, you're in the air. This happened in 9/11 famously with Bush and so forth. And the idea that we're going to use some plane that's was supplied to us, even if our guys have to go over it, but if our guys have to go over it and rip out the innards and make sure there's nothing in there, what's the point of taking it, right? I mean, so it's ridiculous.
I know. We're just going to retrofit it.
Yeah, so we're going to spend as much money, so Trump can have something that looks really garish and grotesque. Yeah. But so I was thinking, look, so we went to Saudi Arabia. He went. I was chief of staff in Christmas of 1990, just before the first Gulf War launched. We went to visit our troops, also visit the kingdom, and it was for a vice president, a pretty high profile, and a pretty.
In the story, this is what kind of tickled me in a way. There's nothing in the story where they report, what it to be $400 million. And there's nothing in the story. This is what kind of tickled me in a way. There's nothing in the story where they report, White House say it's debated whether or not it would be wise to accept the gift, even if it were legal to accept. Right. There's no consideration of the fact she's not happy with it. She said, I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400. Back to you. There's 3 things that could break here. 3 things. I don't think any of them are going to, but there's 3 potential pressure points here. And I want you to figure out, I want your opinion on which one is the more likely to break. One is the MAGA faithful. So we have in one case, Laura Loomer, loves Trump. She said, take a bullet from him in a tweet, but she's not happy with it. She said, I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400 million gift from what she calls, not me, jihadists in suits. All right. So she's upset. So that's one plank where it's like, this is not a good look. Like, what is he doing here? Don't like this. This is not, this is not the Trump I know. The other thing that could break is the elites. And so you have, like, of course, the Wall Street types, the business types who think it's totally garish and gross, and they kind of are embarrassed by it, and they think it's what kind of individual would possibly do this. I put in that camp maybe some members of Congress. Now, I don't think James Comer, after investigating Hunter Biden's art dealings, is going to suddenly turn around and be like, you know what, this is actually 20 times worse. Like, we should invest. No. But I'm talking about like lawmakers who actually have a pulse and think, this is actually ethically dubious and presents really problematic national security stuff. That's the other one. Then the final one is just sort of every average day Republican voters who look at Trump and say, wait a second, you're telling me that I can only get a handful of dollars for my kid and I should be fine with it while you're taking a $400 million plane from Qatar. And I'll note just one other story, and then I'll turn over to you for your guess. There was a great Washington Post piece about the Trump meme coin. And I think they estimated 67,000 people bought into it based on the publicity he was getting from Trump himself, most likely. And that in their estimation, 80% of those people saw the value of their purchase nosedive. These are not like big investors. These are like small time people putting in $10,000, $5,000, and they saw it go to shit. Those are people who I think could also turn on Trump over this type of behavior. So that's three camps. What is your sense of which camp is the most vulnerable for Trump?
I guess I do think the garish, oligarchic, out of control grift and self-indulgence stuff can hit. As you were speaking, I was thinking Marie Antoinette, the famous, let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake, yeah.
You were the one who wrote that line for the morning shots this week. Let them eat dolls, right?
Let them eat dolls.
Yeah. But think about this. I mean, in a way that's famous, but then you think for a second, that was the French Revolution. There are a lot of reasons to have a revolution against the old regime, presumably, right. Injustice and inequality.
People are losing their heads. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm not saying that those were, of course, those were the real reasons. The deeper
Now, do you guys know that's what I wanted you to hear about the sycophant, even Laura Loomer is against this. I can't, I lost all of my notes that I had stacked. I can't find them all. The last thing I want to talk about, do you feel safe and secure? We know that we have unqualified people sitting in a position of high-ranking position of the FBI, Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, the Pentagon, all of these unqualified people. And the Department of Homeland Security is expected to even go through all of their budget by July, and the budget is supposed to last through October. So they're just doing things, and it's just not like okay for them to do that. No, she is not Christine Nome. The bitch can't hold on to her own goddamn purse. If you heard that a week or two ago, she had her purse stolen with all of her department credentials in them and the whole 9 yards, cash and all of her government credentials in there. So do you guys feel safe? Did you guys hear that 4547 has only attended 12 press security briefings since he's been in office? And we know he's played more than 12 rounds of golf. We definitely know that. So I wanted to know, did you guys, were you guys aware of that? "12 press briefings." Let's take a look at this. I'm not press briefings, security briefings. He loves to go to those press briefings to spin his web of lies. So let me share my screen with you and just give you some more information about who we have sitting in the West Wing in the Oval Office. And he is not bothering to and I'm pretty how much do you think he paid attention in those security briefings? We see he can barely pay attention in the press briefings.
Attendance at President's daily briefings raises. Donald Trump has reportedly missed most of the President's daily briefs, PDB, since his inauguration in January. In January through March, he attended 2 in-person PDB meetings monthly, but by April and May his attendance fell short of expectations, totaling only 12 briefings. The PDB meetings involve collaboration between the president and senior intelligence officials, covering essential national security threats, global crisis assessments, covert operations updates, and the overall state of the world. Discussions during these briefings occur regardless of political implications. The absence of engagement led Senator Mark Warner, Democrat, Virginia, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, to express concerns about Trump's lack of participation in his first 100 days. He stated, "It's sadly clear that President Trump doesn't value the expertise and dangerous work performed by our intelligence professionals each and every day, and unfortunately, it leaves the American people increasingly vulnerable to threats we ought to see coming." Trump's avoidance of PDB briefings is particularly concerning given his approach to Russia's war against Ukraine and his harsh tariffs with China and other nations. Additionally, although Trump is expected to read the book, a detailed document containing classified information, reports suggest he does not consult it regularly. A former CIA analyst, speaking under anonymity, highlighted the necessity of robust intelligence support, commenting, "The point of having an $80 billion intelligence service is to inform the president to avert a strategic surprise." However, White House spokesperson Davis Engel defended the president, asserting that Trump stays informed. The president is constantly apprised of classified briefings and is regularly in touch with his national security team, Engel said. The entire intelligence community actively informs President Trump in real time about critical national security developments.
Oh, so he doesn't have to go to
leave my house.
the entire staff informed. Well, why don't he just drop these briefings? Let's take a look at who's over the Department of Homeland Security, since they are the ones who brief him. Let's see her being briefed, or just even simply questioned. Here we go. Let's see who's over the Department of Homeland Security. Okay.
On my questions until the members have got done to see if some of them are duplicative. And so, Ms. Underwood, the floor is yours for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This weekend, the president made the remarkable statement that he, quote, doesn't know whether he has to uphold the Constitution. You, however, have taken a different position, both in your confirmation hearing and when you took the oath of office. You said that you were committed to complying with the Constitution. Do you still stand by that statement?
Absolutely. I believe President Trump.
Excellent.
As well.
Let's start with Article 1, which gives Congress and only Congress the power of the purse. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. But this administration is freezing, terminating, and even clawing back federal grants and awards that were already signed into law. These are taxpayer dollars that were appropriated by Congress for the specific purposes that we laid out. So, Secretary, let me ask you, do you believe the administration has the authority to subvert appropriations law to freeze and terminate congressional funding?
The administration and the Department of Homeland Security used our authorities that we have to evaluate every grant that was in front of us and meet statutory requirements, but also to make sure that they were being spent appropriate.
So, of course, the president is within his authorities.
Make sure
Ma'am,
that
this
we
is
went
my time.
forward.
Thank you so much. Of course, the president's within his authorities to drive policy decisions within the bounds of federal law and the Constitution, but that's not what you've been doing. What I'm asking is whether you believe you have the authority to ignore appropriations law. Do you believe that the Constitution gives the executive branch unilateral authority to withhold funds appropriated by the legislative branch?
We have evaluated grants to make sure if they're being spent appropriately, and work that is underway and was authorized has continued. Other grants that have not been started and have not been authorized or obligated, we have reevaluated. And I think you're talking specifically about grants potentially within FEMA that were non-disaster related grants.
I'm talking
Those
broadly, ma'am.
programs are
And
being-
Article 2 does not give the executive the authority to withhold funds, period. And multiple courts have weighed in to agree. Multiple courts have ruled in agreement. Congress controls the power of the purse. That is a fact. That's not a question. That is a fact. And so if the president disagrees with certain spending, Congress passed the Impoundment Act to create a legal process to seek rescissions, and we expect him to follow the law. This administration is not just ignoring the constitutional power of the people's elected representatives. It is also violating the fundamental right of individuals. Do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens?
The administration has the authority to.
Ma'am,
look
I'm
at
looking for a
how
yes or
grants are
no
spent and
question.
to
Yes or no? Do you believe the
appropriate them as
Yes,
appropriate.
ma'am. Do you,
We have
ma'am?
not conducted in
Reclaiming
any
my
kind
time,
of
Mr. Chairman.
Time is yours.
Okay, Secretary Noem, I'm just looking for a yes or no here. Do you believe the Constitution guarantees due process to everyone in America?
Due process is exactly what this Congress
Yes
lays
or
out.
no?
It is, and
Okay,
the
ma'am,
tools
I'll take
you
that as
give
a
us
no.
on due process
Excuse me,
is
I'm trying,
afforded to.
ma'am, I'm trying to ascertain your understanding of the law as it applies to your department. And you as its leader should be able to give us a yes or no answer because judge after judge has ruled that the law is not being followed. Do you believe that the US government has the authority to deport American citizens?
No, and we are not
Okay,
deporting
great.
U.S. citizens.
I'm so happy to hear that you do not believe that the law gives you that authority because the federal government has no authority under U.S. laws to deport any American citizen. And as I know, everyone viewing this hearing today knows that several American citizens have been deported to
haven't.
date.
That is not
Secretary
true.
Noem, that was not a question. Secretary Noem, that oath that we both swore before taking office was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, not the president, not a political party, the Constitution. And that's what we're going to keep doing here at the Appropriations Committee. Thank you. I yield back.
That was not a question. That was not a question. Any questions? Hey, Candy Cane, Grand Rising. They dance around questions with all of that word salad. That was not a question. I love that. Okay, now let's talk about the suspending habeas corpus. I know who I will have you. I want you to hear Stephen Miller with his. Now he is definitely not an attorney. Okay. Okay. I do know that. So, let me share with you this. Can they really suspend habeas corpus? Okay, so let me share this with you so we can be clear on what they have shot out of the bow by the non-attorney. I forget what his position is. He is a high-ranking official in the Trump administration. What is he? His deputy chief of staff. That's what Stephen Miller is. Let's ponder this. Pondering Politics. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. If you're not subscribed, check them out.
Moment, courtesy of Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, who just told reporters on camera that Donald Trump is seriously considering suspending the constitutional writ of habeas corpus, the constitutional right for you and I and everyone in this country to know why we are being arrested and to have that arrest challenged. In other words, Stephen Miller is saying that Donald Trump has seriously considered assuming the emergency power of being able to abduct and black bag anyone in this country without court review.
And you notice that everything is under an emergency order based upon illegal immigrants being in this country. And I want you to pay real careful attention to what this idiot said, that Biden flew these people into the country. Let's continue.
But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Folks, this is a true red alert moment. And the way that Stephen Miller is so smug about this, so casual, is truly chilling as well. We know they are desperate. We know they are going full-blown fascist. So
I just really always ask this before and after I hear Stephen Miller come out. You remember Stephen Miller was the one who came out and said Russell Vogt had made the Russell Vogt is the reason why they said that there would be no more government money flowing, and they were going to cut all government spending. And Russell Vought hadn't even been elected into office. But when he went on CNN and said that, he got no pushback. Russell Vought hadn't even been, they hadn't even voted on him as being over the OMB, Office of Management and Budget. But Stephen Miller came out here and said the reason why they were doing that is because of Russell Vought. Stephen Miller was the one who explained how in the West Wing, sitting in front of the Department of standing behind the DOJ, Pam Bimbo said that the 9-0 Supreme Court ruling was in 45-47 favor, which it was absolutely the opposite. So let's see. I always wonder who is under the purview of having to have drug tests in this administration, especially after hearing Stephen Miller come out with the bullshit that he comes out with. Who's being drug tested in this administration? And if they are not demanded, they should be.
So here's what Stephen Miller had to say to C-SPAN, and then we'll look into the legal definition, as well as a really good article written by attorney Aaron Parnas of Midas Touch.
Are you worried that using your home address?
Hold on. Let me get past this commercial.
Started your own company.
Hold on, there's a question back there first.
I have two quick questions. First, President Trump has talked about potentially suspending his court to take care of the illegal immigration problem. When could we see that happen?
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law, the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article 3 courts, that's the judicial branch.
So what Stephen Miller is saying is that unless courts rule in Trump's favor, Trump is looking at suspending, he says, the privilege of habeas corpus. Again, what is habeas corpus? We'll look at a legal definition in just a moment. We know what the common parlance is. Again, the right to know why you are being arrested and detained, and to have that arrest and detain be challengeable in court. Unless courts...
It's also known as presenting the body. You just can't just say whatever you want to say. No, you're going to have to present the body of evidence. Let's continue.
Agree with Donald Trump with respect to the foreign invasion. That's what Stephen Miller refers to it as. Basically, his entire immigration pogrom. They are seriously considering stripping this constitutional right. And by the way, this is a right.
And he said that it is a pleasure, not a right. Remember, 4547 couldn't tell you if he had to follow the Constitution. And so Stephen Miller is trying to get you to believe that it is something that is granted to you, and that which means it can be taken away, something that's in the Constitution. So maybe this is about illegal immigrants, that they are couching this as a point of illegal immigration. But once that balloon is popped, do you think they are not going to use this on American citizens? See, like I tell you, I give a fuck about me and mine, and that's who I give a fuck about. So I'm not going to be okay with something being done to somebody that I don't want to be done to myself. You're not going to make it easier to take it the writ of habeas corpus away from me. Yeah, no, I'm not for that. And people not noticing that this is what this administration is trying to do. It is at their own peril. Let's continue.
Right afforded to all of us. So when Stephen Miller says he's looking to suspend habeas corpus, by definition, he's going to have to do it for everybody. So let's look at it. Cornell Law School. What is habeas corpus? Latin for that you have the body. In the U.S. system, federal courts can use the writ of habeas corpus to determine if a state's detention of a prisoner is valid. A writ of habeas corpus is used to bring a prisoner or other detainee, e.g. institutionalized mental patient, before the court to determine if the person's imprisonment or detention is lawful. A habeas petition proceeds as a civil action against the state agent, usually a warden, who holds the defendant in custody. It can also be used to examine any extradition processes used, the amount of bail, and the jurisdiction of the court. Again, in other words, to know what the charges are being brought against you and to have your arrest and detainment reviewable and challengeable in court. Now, Aaron Parnas, an attorney who works for Midas Touch, he wrote an article on this. This is extremely serious. We have breaking news tonight that demands your immediate attention, not just as a citizen, but as someone who believes in the basic architecture of a free society. Stephen Miller, the Deputy White House Chief of Staff and ideological architect of some of the most extreme immigration and authoritarian policies of the last administration, has publicly stated that they are, quote, actively looking at suspending the writ of habeas corpus. Let me be clear, this is not a throwaway line. This is not political theater. This is a direct signal of intent to upend a core constitutional safeguard. Habeas corpus is Latin for you shall have the body, a legal principle dating back centuries, enshrined in Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution. It ensures that if you are detained by the government, you have the right to challenge the legality of your detention in court. It is the foundational protection against arbitrary imprisonment. Without it, the state can arrest and hold you indefinitely, without charges, without trial, and without oversight. The Constitution does permit suspension of habeas corpus only in cases of rebellion, invasion, or when public safety requires it under such extreme conditions. To date, it has been suspended only a handful of times in U.S. history, most notably by President Abraham Lincoln during the U.S. Civil War, the American Civil War, and briefly during the Second World War with the internment of Japanese Americans.
And let's be clear, they have already ruled in court that the 4547 cannot use the Aliens Enemies Act. The other thing that has only been used in cases of war, that cannot be used because we are not at war and we have not been invaded. So now they're trying to dip their toe in the water again to take more rights away from me. The Alien Enemies Act, why that is so important, is because it allows the military to be used on American streets. That's why that's important. So you didn't hear that from Talent over here on my channel. You didn't hear none of this important shit from that lion motherfucker on my channel. So now they're trying to use the same tactics to take away our writ of habeas corpus away, that they can just disappear you. And you don't think that this, and if they can't just take it away from them. You hear that if it's taken away, it's taking away from everyone. So I'm just giving you the information that what this administration is actively trying to do while they're trying to lull you away with these tariffs and all of this shit. That motherfucker didn't take that tariff shit seriously. This motherfucker's stealing. Don't look, they're gonna be, oh, did you hear her husband saying what's up, bitch? He's talking to the dog. Yeah, you heard it. He was back there calling her bitches, and he was up there. Fuck you, bitches. Fuck you, bitches. At least my husband ain't in here telling me that he needs another motherfucking bitch in the bed to fuck me. How about that? Talk about your husband needing another bitch in there to be able to fuck you. You ain't never heard my husband say no dumb shit. Like you came out here and said the dumb shit about your husband and yourself. But let's continue. He said, leave me out of it. I ain't part of your shit. Okay, so let me drop this link for you. I'll drop this link in the chat. I want to make sure that Stephen Miller, he did of all of Stephen Miller's talk. Let me see.
Not governance. And if you look on Twitter about this, just look at people are flipping out. This is insane. It's an insane statement by the Trump administration. Sam Stein of the Bulwark says, if I understand the White House's current messaging, is that the border is completely under control, unlike ever before in history. Crime is dramatically down across the board. But we are also under such an invasion that we have to suspend habeas corpus. Another says, when the Trump regime threatens to suspend habeas corpus, as Herr Miller does here, it's important to note that the suspension would apply to everyone, citizen.
Now, that's another point. They say that they have been so successful with the things that they have been doing in this administration that border crossings are about 35 people a day. They have been so successful. But then they are trying to enact all of these emergency acts because we are under siege. We are under attack. We have been invaded. Make it make sense. You can't have it both ways. They want all of this money to build a border wall. But I thought your policies have made border crossing down to damn near zero. So why are we going to spend all of these billions of dollars to build a border wall while you're trying to take billions of dollars from the poor? And let's talk about the poor. Where is Uppity? Where is Uppity with her good I try to pretend like I'm a better than bitch and I ain't got my 2 front teeth bitch? Where is Uppity talking about she support 4547 when she's living in a whole motherfucking Section 8, it's not even Section 8 housing. She's living in a whole group home setting off of Section 8. Where's that bitch? Or what? How come that bitch ain't talking all that good 45, 47 talk now? How come she's not talking all of this now when they are about to slash Section 8 to smithereens? How come she's not talking about that? So she wanted to be out here like a dumb bunny out here talking all that 45, 47 shit. Is the bitch quiet now? Does the bitch finally realize that she about to be homeless in a couple of months? October is when the budget comes due. Is the bitch still sitting out here thinking that she's saying something slick to motherfuckers who were trying to warn the people about this Project 2025 shit? Or are people finally taking it seriously now? The retired person who's been retired since she's been 23. You mean you got your check? You got your crazy check when you was 23? Is that what retired you? Is that what retired you, your crazy check at 23? But bitch, it's time to get uncrazy now. Bitch, you're going to have to sell pussy or something. I doubt if somebody want pussy. At least you missing two teeth. Maybe they'll stick it in your mouth for a couple of dollars. Bitch, what did they call that? Velvet? Some of the bitches who ain't got no teeth. Maybe you can have it won't be velvet. Maybe you can sell some velour mouth. It won't be velvet because you're only missing 2 teeth. Bitch, you're gonna have to do something. I digress. Let me I dropped the link to this chat and let me end with if you're not familiar with this link, you haven't been watching me, the Defiant Lawyer Network. So let me let you hear him break down this as well. The reason I like him, he breaks it down and he also makes you understand why it is important to us as Black people. He's a civil rights attorney, so let's check this out. He's gonna break this down, and I'm gonna end with this. I'll come back tomorrow with the things that I was going to talk about. I know I'm gonna be mad that I missed something. Here we go. Making a whole lot of noise over there. You smacking and carrying on. excuse the background. That breakfast must be good. My goodness. Okay, here we go. Uh,
way to the end. So especially important. So you need to watch it all the way to the end. So have you heard that the Trump administration is now openly floating the ideal of suspending what's called the writ of habeas corpus, one of the oldest and most critical protections and rights that we have in the U.S. Constitution? How do we know this? We know this because of an announcement made by Stephen Miller, one of the president's operatives. So I want you to hear for yourself what Mr. Miller had to say.
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So it's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law known as the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article 3 courts, so that's the judicial branch, of jurisdiction over immigration cases. So Congress actually passed, it's called jurisdiction stripping legislation. It passed a number of laws that say that the Article 3 courts aren't even allowed to be involved in immigration cases. Many of you probably don't know this. I'll give you a good example. Are you familiar with the term temporary protected status, or TPS, right? So by statute, the courts are stripped of jurisdiction from overruling a presidential determination or a secretarial determination on TPS when the Secretary of Homeland Security makes that determination. So when Secretary Noem terminated TPS for the illegals that Biden flew into the country, when courts stepped in, they were violating explicit language that Congress had enacted, saying they have no jurisdiction. So it's not just the courts aren't just at war.
That Biden flew into the country. Biden flew these people into the country. The simple fact that they have tried to blame absolutely everything on Biden. So all of these people who have been here 14 years, miraculously, that they are hemmed up in this, were brought here under the Biden administration. These people who have been here 10, 16, 20, 30 years, all of a sudden, miraculously, it's an emergency because of the Biden administration flew them in here. And see, this is what is this is another problem that is wrong with America right now. People don't call a liar a liar. People don't call these lies out and say that this is unacceptable behavior for adults. So what are you teaching your children if we are just, oh, well, you know how he is. Oh, you know how look at all the liars that are just feel emboldened to lie. Let's continue.
At war with the executive branch, the courts are at war, these radical rogue judges, with the legislative branch as well too. So all of that will inform the choices the president ultimately makes. Yeah.
All right. So you heard him confirm that they're indeed looking at suspending habeas corpus. But he also made a false and misleading claim. He said the country has experienced an invasion. And he also claimed that Article 3 courts have no jurisdiction to hear immigration cases. So let me refute both of those latter two statements. First, with all due respect to Stephen Miller, he's not an attorney. Second, there has been no invasion of this country in decades. That's false. That is just flat out false. This country has not been invaded and or occupied since World War II. And I'll explain that further below. Third, it is misleading to say Article 3 courts don't hear immigration cases. It's true that the INA strips Article 3 courts from hearing some immigration cases, but the INA does not strip Article 3 courts from hearing cases having to do with constitutional law, like habeas corpus, due process, First Amendment, etc., whether they're immigration cases or not. Again, that's misleading. And what we're hearing here from Stephen Miller isn't mere politics. No, this is more authoritarianism knocking on our front door. And if we don't stop it now, the consequences could be devastating.
How to avoid buying olive oil without polyphenols.
I left these bottles of olive oil in the fridge overnight. Supposedly, if you're
Let's start with what is habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, the term itself means you shall have the body. I'll explain it later. That is, habeas corpus is your constitutional right to challenge unlawful detention. It is also your constitutional right to challenge other acts by the government or by opposing counsel. It gives you access to a judge to tell your story, to argue your case, to explain your side. It is your way of ensuring that you have your day in court. It is what you could consider like an emergency brake in a car. You know, some cars have that emergency brake that you can pull to stop the car in emergency situations. Consider habeas corpus to be that. It's often used in criminal cases, immigration cases, child custody cases, civil rights cases. In our law firm, we used it recently when a judge refused to lower a bond for one of our clients. So habeas corpus is your way of fighting back to immediately get an audience or an opportunity before the judge. So in this instance, the Trump administration wants to stop immigrants, asylum seekers, and others from going to court. In other words, once ICE arrests someone, they want those detainees to be stuck. No hearing, no judge, no bond, no due process, just indefinite detention. Worse, Trump has publicly floated the ideal of sending detainees, including U.S. citizens, to prisons in foreign countries. He's already talked with El Salvador, and reportedly he has reached agreements with Rwanda and Libya. Yes, believe it or not.
Lord. Thank you. Thank you. They should have learned from the first time he had those children locked up in those makeshift jails away from their parents. I was Carrie. Now, I just want to, I'm going to drop this link again because you should take your time and listen to this and go over this. We're not going to pretend. I told you last week that he planned to send people to Libya, Africa, the Ukraine that doesn't even have an operating airport. And there was a fourth one. I always forget the fourth one. Go back on my video on Friday. Already is working with 4 countries that are in peril to send prisoners to. You think they're not going to send an American prisoner to you think that they don't think that the black prisoners, whatever their crimes are the worst of the worst, while we got a whole felon sitting in the Oval Office with 43 felons. He's talking about repeat felons based upon what their crime is, and he has been convicted of SA-ing a woman. So, there's the link. Please finish this link. It's I think it's very important. Okay, and I thank you guys for joining me this morning. And I'm going to end with this. Hold on one second. I apologize. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. I have one last thing I want to share with you guys. I please excuse the pause, uh, but here we go. If you can help uh, with this, I think it would be greatly appreciated. Um, people don't have $500 to just throw away. So if you guys have seen this, I didn't know her last name was Brown. I thought that it was nicotine. But please help out if you've seen this quaff. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Understand that people are in need. We don't want people to have to put their next quaff on. What is it? Layaway? No, not layaway. Afterpay. We don't want people out here putting their quaffs on Afterpay. So why don't y'all help a sister out? Why don't you? Because as long as there is life in their blood, this is what they will be doing. As long as there's life in their blood in their life, they will be doing this.
How long I'm gonna lie? That's how long. That's how long. That's how long. I don't give a fuck about it. That's how long I'm gonna lie. How many more lies can I tell? How many scams can I deny? How many words can broke me spell? I'm gonna lie until I die.
Sing it with me. That's how long. That's how long. That's how long.
I don't give a fuck about it.
That's how long I'm gonna lie. All right,
Did I
guys.
tell y'all my adventures?
All right, guys. It has been great having you here today. I apologize that I didn't have all of my links available. Where's my stick, Ronnie Q? It is too early for this foolishness, Ronnie Q. I know it is too early for this foolishness. So I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And make sure you hit the like button on your way in. If you want to support the channel, $ Ronnie Q, hit the like button or meet me here tomorrow. I appreciate all of your support. Don't think it does not go recognized. Thank you for all my members. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. I thank you, the people who even hit my goals, even though I forgot to put my goals up. I definitely appreciate you all. Hope you guys have a great remainder. Oh, also, I have a new project. I have a new project for my crafting and conversations. I am going to put it up soon. I'm making right now. I have something that I'm working on. Well, 3 things that I'm working on. I'm working on 3 more of my benches. I'm making 2 more. I'm making 2 more benches and one more chair for for the summer. If you want one, get in contact with me. I will be selling them. I have a project and I have a fair that I'm going to be doing. Child, I have a fair that I'm going to be doing June 6th to 8th, I believe. So I'm going to be busy. I'm creating. So go on my community wall if you want one of my benches. Drop a note in under one of my videos, and I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And when I get my new date for crafting and conversations, it will be sometimes next month. I will give you the supply list, and we are going to be creating something so uniquely beautiful and special. Okay, so I thank you guys. Happy belated Mother's Day, everyone. Yes, indeed, Candy. So I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. And that's it. That's all I have for you. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Let's try something different.